Osmar, you have to help me make sense of all the headlines, because last week is that we're going to have to cut production in 2019 because we're dealing with an oversupply. Then Novak says something different. How do you interpret the last 14 days of OPEC plus rhetoric?
Okay. Well, good morning, or in recognition of my Brazilian heritage, bom dia.
Oh, okay, great.
We have a new president today. Look, it's been more than 14 days. I think the market has been trying to figure out which direction it should be going for quite some time. Every day you hear a story about there's an oil surplus, and you hear another story about oil shortage. And I think that as a result, the equity market's quite unsettled despite a very positive, robust oil price environment. And that's part of the reason why we have a very robust IPO backlog, but no IPOs are really getting done at this point. Until the market settles down and takes a direction, I think we're going to have a bit of a standstill. However, I would say that M&A activity has been quite active, which I think is a sign of, from corporate executives that they're convinced that the business is going to get better.
And of course, the bullish take is that we have to see how much oil that Iran actually loses in the market. Right. Short term, though, we're still seeing signs in the spreads of oversupply. If you come inside the Bloomberg, this is the December contract for 2018 versus 2019 for Brent. The lower it goes, the weaker the 2018 prices are. That tends to point to short-term oversupply. What are your clients looking for to want to IPO, for example? Like, what do they need to see in market conditions?
Well, my corporate clients want higher valuations. The institutional clients want more certainty and more stability. And I think that that's the challenge, is that the people are trying to figure out where we're heading here. And I think people, generally speaking, most investors and most corporates feel quite good about long term, but they're all extremely focused on short term. And right now, there's lots of issues beyond the oil market. Just are we heading to a global recession? It's offset by geopolitical issues, and there's a lot of uncertainty. The uncertainty needs to settle down.
Well, as you say, global growth seems to be softening. That seems to be the consensus.
A little bit.
Raises issues. But you've got the Saudi Arabia crisis as well, about what's going on now. They tried to help by saying, we'll pump as much as you want. At the same time, we have Iran sanctions coming in on Sunday. And I don't think we quite know what the effects of that will be, do we?
No, we don't. It's still quite early, but I think there's plenty of oil out there. But just because you have a lot of oil doesn't mean you can produce it efficiently. And there's a lot of logistical issues, as we all know. For example, in the Permian, the whole differential issue, oil sands are differential issues. So there's plenty of production, plenty of reserves, but getting it to market efficiently is part of the issue.